Hey everybody, this is Tom again in Western North Carolina, and I'm moving on with this how to make a chair. Anyways, the other day we just got our slats all cut out, and now you've got your 3 slats, you've got your back posts, and you need to fit these tenons into the back posts, into these mortises. And so you need to fit them individually into the mortise that it goes into. Got to fit that one in there, got to fit this one in there, and so on. Each one needs to be fit exactly where it goes, because these mortises might be a little bit different size and shape. So anyways, the first thing that I do is, and how I do it, is with this little sander gizmo thing here. This is a 3 inch this way sander. I'm not sure how big it is this way, but anyways, you put a piece of sandpaper in it, it spins around, and that little motor is a 1750 RPM motor. I just started using this motor a few days ago, and it's a motor that doesn't have any air. No air runs through it for cooling. The old one that I've used for a long time down there, I wasn't smart enough when I bought it to get one that didn't have air sucked through it, so I used to have to have a shield on it and stuff. But anyways, it still clogged up, and then the bearing went bad in it. And so I just now have temporarily at least replaced it with this thing here. And it's what I use to do my thickness and stuff on these things. Now you can do this with a draw knife, and a lot of times what you have to do is, instead of shaving, you need to scrape a little bit at a time until you get your fit. Now I can show you right now that right there, these slats are really close to fitting already. That one goes in that far right now on the bottom. The top, I can get it in just a little bit. But anyways, and I'm not going to run this sander very much right now, because when I do normally run it, I have my dust collector going and stuff, because it makes a big old cloud of dust. But I'm going to run it a little bit just to show you, give you an idea of how I do it. But anyways, the first thing that I do when I start in on this thing is to I do the whole front face of the thing. You know, zoom, and I smooth up that whole front. And then when I go to fit it, I do all the fitting from the back. I just work on the back. I just stay on the back. So anyways, I'm going to fire this thing up for a minute, and probably, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me talk or not, but I'll try to talk a little bit. I don't have a switch, it's just a plug-in, so it's kind of on or off. Here we go. So see, just that little bit. I've got that corner going all the way in. Now that top corner is a little bit too hard. I'm going to try to do a little bit on the top. Still pretty tight, but not bad. So I can get that top pretty much all the way in, and that bottom all the way in. So now that I've got the thickness right, I'm going to try to do the height, this height here. And so I'm putting it in the bottom and going how much I need to get off of there. And a lot of times I'll put just a little tick mark on there to tell me how much I'm shooting for. Now sometimes I use a knife and get some of that off of there. You can do that whole job with a knife if you want to. But I usually just take it over here. See, I got it started. And it's only going in about that far. So I'm going to chamfer the edge of the corners a little bit. Chamfer all those corners just so it, you know, it slides down in there easier. Okay, so I pushed that in there pretty hard as I could. I'm going to put little tick marks on there just like that. I put a little mark there and a little mark there. I'm trying to pull it back out. Whew. And then remember this tool, this is the tool that we used to measure how deep our mortises were. I use that exact same tool and I check and see if how close my marks are to that. Are they all the way in? These are showing just barely, not all the way. So I'm going to take just a little bit more off right there. And maybe just a little bit like that. I'm going to try this again. Put the marks back on there again. Try to get that back out. So anyways, I'm checking again. And those are just about right there. About as good as I can get them. Now I've already done this end in this mortise. So once I get it to this point, I look at the thing and try to determine if it's the same on both sides. And if it's not, I try to doctor it up a little bit. And then I make sure the back is all smooth, front's already smooth. And I'm just going to cut that off now. And now that I have it so that it goes in both places, I would go on this sander and I would go all around on the top edge and the bottom edge, you know, excluding the mortises or the tenons, you know, where my hands are, I would not do at all. But I would round this off and I would round this off. Because these are sharp edges on there, I don't want them. So I would do that. And then I would do all three slats. Each one individually in its own mortise. So anyways, I'm going to set this stuff aside right now. Don't need it anymore. Set this down. And then, once you get them all three fitted in, you go back to this step. And you put this whole back, I say you, but I put this whole back together using the dummy rungs. And I check to see, and I still have remnants of those little marks that I put on to see if I had them all the way in the mortises. And I can pretty much tell where they're at. And then what I do then is I sight down these slats right here, and I want them to all be even with each other. And if they are even with each other, I take it apart and go for it. If they're not even with each other, like that first one I did the other day, this bottom slat was high. It was higher than these other two, and so I needed to shorten it. So I took this all back apart, and I shortened that bottom one. And if you're unsure of yourself or doing it for the first time, then you need to put it back together again and see that they're laying right. Now, this one here, I've got it put together and I'm satisfied with it. And so then the next step is to take this apart . Those dummy rungs out of the way. Put those dummy rungs away. And now, and I have already done this, but if you're ready to put it together, you go over these with sandpaper or whatever you want to do to smooth them up. Make sure your back posts are smoothed up the way you want them. And so I've got just a little bit more time on this video. I don't know how long you can stand to watch it. But then you get your three rungs, three 14-inch rungs, or two rungs and an airfoil. Put them in here. Now I've got this laid upside down. The floor is that way, and the front of the chair is down right now. So you have to be aware of that when you lay these out. Check these out. Put your marks on them. Marks are that way. Let's see, this goes like that. So I'm going to put it like this. And those shouldn't need any adjustment. So the next step is, and I'm kind of hurrying up, but get the sawdust out of there. Got to put your glue in. There's my rung glue. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my slat glue in. I'm going to stir that all around in there. You want to get your glue on the big flat sides is where it's most important, where it's going to do the most good. And you want to put in enough glue to do some good, but you don't want any of it to squeeze out. And I usually rub these like that just to make sure if there's any glue on the outside. that it's wiped up, because I don't want have to do any glue later, wipe up any glue after the fact. And I get my first rung. See, the line disappeared there. Getting a little bounce there. There's my line. Slide across the top, make sure this middle one's not sticking up. All the marks disappeared. And then it's time to put the slats in. So I'm putting the slats in. Alright, got that. Now I'm going to glue this side up. Put the rung glue in. I know you can't see this, but put my little split pea size bit of glue in there. And I'm going to put my glue in here. If you happen to get too much glue in there, just fish some of it out with your nail and wipe it off, on your rag. This is a 6-penny nail, coated sinker actually. I'll make sure that there's no glue on the outside. And now we're going to put this together. So I'm going to start right here at this bottom rung. I'm sighting across there, and I want those legs to be parallel if I can. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see. Do that just a little bit. All right. Okay, see my slat's not reaching right there where my thumb is. But I'm going to get my bigger hammer. And I got that one there all the way in. But still, look at my slat's not reaching. So I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. Look at that, I'm going to hold it with my thumb. Got it started. And look at this one here now, I can put this one in, I'm bending it. And it started. This one here, not quite in yet. Got a little bit to go. This jumped out on me. I'm going to hold that one. Hit this right here. There we go. That did that one. Now this one, I'm bending this one a little bit. Got it started right there. I'm going to hit this right here. Bam. Okay, all my marks are, all my rung marks have disappeared. Pretty straight across that way. Couldn't do much about it if I needed to anyways. But now, to get these slats in, I hold this thing. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. But I hold it like this. Putting pressure on it. I hit them like that. And then I'm looking at these marks here. There's a little bit of glue, darn it. I don't know how that got out. But anyways, do like that. Get some of these tools out of the way. And I take these blocks of wood and put it like this. And I get this little two boards that are kind of rounded to fit the slats. I put that on there to hold these slats in line with each other. Okay, that's good. Then I take one of these clamps here, 18-inch clamp, and I put it this way to pinch this together, and that's like forcing the tenons into the mortises. And then I take this piece of wood right here and I clamp that like that. And by doing that, I've got it held this way, and then by pulling that up, I think that I'm forcing those tenons into those mortises. And when that glue dries, whenever that is, whoa, I have to do, that's the first time that ever happened to me. I'll try it again. When that glue dries, I think that'll be a good back. Anyways, I guess this is running pretty long, but I hope you got the gist of all that. And I guess this will be episode 18. Anyways, I'm having a good day. Hope you are too. And thanks for watching. I'll see you another time. Bye now.